What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? This is the Anger Management Podcast. I want to go ahead and put a disclaimer out there. I've been on a social media fast since the first, but then I knew I had to do the podcast. So I'm not officially back online on social media, but we do the podcast online. So it is what it is. How y'all doing? Today's topic for the Anger Management Podcast is going to be an in-depth look in the phrase of manning up. I have my boys here with me, man, that's going to go ahead and we're going to have this discussion to be able to enlighten some ways that men just need to change over. But I want to go ahead and introduce the individuals that are here in the room with us. First and to my left is the very funny and talented, the one and the only Funny Bone, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir, man. What's happening with you, man? I'm happy to be here, man. Happy to be amongst the brothers, man, to be able to chat this thing up.
Man, we always happy to have you, brother. We always happy to have you. And then to the far left is my brother, none other than the funny and talented Big Chip.
What's going on?
Yeah, you guys.
That's it.
That's it.
That is it.
Oh man! So before we even get started, I like to always ask, because it's rare that we get to ask how we doing and be genuinely. To be genuine about it. So Chip, man, how you been, man? Is everything all right with you? Like on a real emotional, like in-depth look at you, how is your day going?
My day is going good because the output I look at my day, I'm breathing. So I thank God for that. And I stay positive. I try and do positive stuff. That's it.
All right. And Bone, how you doing today?
Man, everything been doing pretty fair with me, man. I've been hanging on in there. I tell people all the time that, life is like a card game. So it's like 95% of life is based on the cards that's dealt to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much based on the rest of how you play your hand.
Okay,
So I'm just trying my best to play the hand the best way I can with it, man.
So in this game of life, what do you call a game? Is it spades? Is it tonk?
Man, hey, dog, hey, at first I was I switched mine up to Uno. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm rolling with some Uno cards, man. So and that's the thing, man. Just learning about life, man, is basically, a lot of us dealt certain kind of hands, man, but really it's about how you play the hand that you have, you know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing, man. Trying to play the cards the best way that you can, because everybody got cards that's dealt differently, but you're not judged on the cards. You judge basically on how you play that hand. So so that's what it is. Just still trying to. Hopefully, I can pull a couple draw twos out and a couple draw fours and all that, and like a wild card. I love to change the color or something, but it's just right now I got all numbers, so I'm just trying to pick from the deck.
Hello. And then I don't want to forget, listen, we also have our engineer in the house. For those who don't know, we got Ed, the Fabler comedian.
Oh man,
we can call him
stop using my government name.
We can call you by your government because you don't work with him no more.
So you keep using my government name.
This ain't Signal 27.
This ain't Signal 27, man. It ain't. Yeah, my name is Leroy. That's Albert. And that's Andre. And you are Edward.
No, sir.
Yeah, I gotta say it just like that too. You know what I mean? It's ironic you use the analogy of playing cards, because I think people get mad, like not mad, but depending on the type of game you're playing,
Spades, man.
You can say spades, but those are the people.
Absolutely.
It's not the cards, it's the people, right?
That's it.
But Uno is different. Uno is your cards, and then you can have the smallest kid.
That's right.
Playing Uno and hit you with a draw two, reverse, and really mess your world up.
Mess your
really
whole
bad.
world up. And that's
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, man, that people really don't, look at it with life, man, that is not about the cards that's dealt in life. It's just how you play that hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And one thing I learned about a card shark. If a card shark had a bad hand, his thing is he cannot show you that in his eyes that his hand is bad. Mm-hmm. So even though life may not be as good for you, you can't show the enemy that you got a bad hand based on your eyes. So you still got to try to play that hand, even though it's a bad hand and you crying on the inside, but you can't let nobody see that you got a bad hand.
What if they cross-eyed?
Well, that's on a whole
Chill.
other different ball. Yeah.
No, I was. I've been recently watching a lot of poker. Like I've been getting back into playing chess.
Right.
And I've been a big advocate of playing chess. I've been playing chess since I was in elementary school. But then I kind of got my hands on poker and then realized like the two cards poker. And then people, they'll show it to you based off of you watching it on TV. But then
Right.
you watch them people and they will have a bad hand.
Yeah.
And they would sit there and they will be so cold
They
and
do.
calculated and they will make
Yeah.
you think. And then you have to
Yeah.
think
What you got?
about life, right?
Yup.
Because the devil don't know. The devil really don't know, or your adversary don't know
Absolutely.
until you open up your mouth or until you say
Absolutely.
something that will be
Absolutely.
revealing, and then he can
Empower.
kind of deal with that, right?
Absolutely.
But then ain't
Absolutely.
that thing that they used to say is like dance like everything is good all the
Right,
time to
absolutely.
confuse the adversary.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the main key, man. You know, because certain people have certain different cards in their hand, and you know now you looked at on how you gonna play the hand, and when you're not prepared to have jokers in your hand and stuff like that, and all you've been used to having was ace of diamonds and kings of diamonds and all that, and then now next thing you know it, now you got some cards that's not so good. You still got to play that hand, and
Right.
so that's one of the main things in this season that I've been learning to do is to understand that although my hand may not be the best, but you got to play it the best way you can.
Just like God need persecution, because persecution make you better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It does.
Right? That phrase where they say where strong men create easy times, easy times create soft men, soft men create hard times.
Come on.
And it just goes all the way around. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think anything that you do that requires struggle,
Absolutely.
hardship, some type of pain builds character in you as a
You
person.
got to be tested.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you have to be
You
tested.
have to. You have
You
to.
know, it's kind of like an individual who's going through the process of losing weight. And if you're going through the process of losing weight, are you planning on getting the surgery, or are you going to do it naturally, the same way you naturally ate all of that food? You can
Manual.
naturally, yeah. I mean, yo, listen, I kind of got into the habit now of as part of my. I didn't do a New Year's resolution for the last 2 months. I've been like I'm on a schedule for the most part. I get up right around 5:30, and I go in my garage and I work out in my gym. I do like 35 minutes incline walking, and then I hit the weight bench, and it's starting to show. I've dropped from 315 down to 479. I mean 279.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
went up.
It went up a little bit. It had a couple
Yeah,
double
you're talking about a
stacks.
little back.
Yeah, little
no, I ain't
back.
little back at all. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
it takes some discipline
Yeah, it
to
does.
be able to. Okay, well, listen, you need to do this, and it also helped with my mental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I know that I'm struggling mentally because of a dream I had or because of what happened the night before, maybe what I even seen online, I'd be like, man, you know what? Let me go. That's the reason why I decided to do the social media fast. It's
Movie
like,
you watch.
or a movie, yeah. What movie I watched?
I'm just saying, like how you wake up. Like, say you fall asleep on the movie.
Yeah. You know, but I've taken control of that. I don't let that control me. I was like, oh, is this what I need to do? Let me go in here and walk it out, push it out. You know what I'm saying? Pain leads to purpose, is what I say.
That's what's up.
So, but that's what I've been working with for the past couple of months, and it's been working out for me. You know what I mean? And then, you know what I'm saying? I've been blessed for most of the part coming into the 2026 year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I've gone through the process that if I feel like if I'm down and out, or if I need to get some assistance, the first thing I do is I look to bless somebody else. So I usually keep a pocket full of 5, 10s in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? If I see somebody who might need something, or if they don't even ask me for money, if they ask me for food, it's automatic. I'm not even thinking twice about it.
Yeah.
If a man say, man, dog, I'm just hungry, I just need something to eat, I'll be like, don't even worry about it, dog. I'm blessed to be a blessing. To let me know what you want to eat. I just recently did that to a guy. He saw me get my food from the truck, and he stared at my food. He didn't stare at me.
Wow.
So when I asked him, I was like, "Man, are you okay?" And he was like, "No, but you know, are you okay in the black community can be, are you okay? You got a problem? You want to do something? Oh, are you okay? Can mean a lot of stuff." But I was like, "No, bro, are you good? Is something? Do you require something?" And it was like, "Man, I'm just hungry. I was like, bro, I'm right here at the truck. And I'll mention him. It was good food, 24/7. And the young lady was there, and she was like, "Yeah, he's buying this other guy something to eat." And I'm not doing it for like kudos. I've been doing this for a while, but it makes me feel good personally to be able to do that. And I think honestly because in my past mindset, once I got done with all of the counseling and everything like that, it was a woman and her 2 kids, and I stood there. She asked me to buy her kids something to eat, and I looked at her and I told him no. And I think that has impacted me so much to the point to where it's like I think I did a complete 180. You know what I mean? I'm more soft-hearted. I guess that's, you know what I'm saying? I was cold-hearted. I was mean. And I give that. I was mean. I could have easily went on ahead and bought them kids something to eat, but I chose not to. And it's been weighing on my heart ever since, and it's been almost a year and a half, close to 2,
And
since that happened.
people think that what you say a blessing actually is a seed that you plant, because some people you might don't see it grow, but you plant a seed, and hey, because by him asking, begging, however you want to put it, you found it in your heart. Hey, the gift.
I mean, I think it's under certain
No, it helped you.
circumstances.
It
Oh,
don't
yeah.
help him. Whoever you gave to, no, it helped you.
No, I think that, yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the reasons why it was put on my heart. Like during I have my devotion time in the morning too, and usually it's right around the time I'm working out. I kind of do kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And a lot of times it's like, dog, if you're really feeling bad, help somebody else.
That's right.
And my thing was, I would have never thought that. I know that wasn't me because that just wasn't my mindset. I'm not.
That's why I got the healthiest exercise in the world is helping somebody out when they fail. I believe that.
That's right.
I
believe
agree.
that.
I agree with that.
Cool,
You know?
cool.
All right, yo. For all of y'all that don't know, today's topic is about breaking the man up myth. It's unpacking toxic expectations and rewriting the definitions of strength. I think a lot of times for those who grew up with their fathers, they was told, listen, you couldn't cry, you couldn't do this, man up, and this is your job, take care of this. These are what you need to take care of as a man. But then they don't tell you how to deal with those emotional needs that you want. They just tell you to push it down or whatnot. So my thoughts to y'all is the first thing that I want to dispel is the myth about crying. Like, listen, I think as an adult now, within the last 2 years, I think I probably cried more than I ever did in my lifetime. You know what I mean? I cried once when I was in the military.
Okay.
And then what is it? I cried once when a kid took my Nintendo games and ran, and they ran off with it. You know what I mean? And then I cried when I was on the bus when I was in the Young Marines, and they took my cover, and I had to try to find them and fight them to get my cover back. So I wasn't the type of person. No, and then I cried again. I cried once. Me and my mom had got into it, and then my mom called me, my father, and you know what I'm saying, we got into an argument, and that kind of hurt. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
Out of those 4 situations, I think up until 2023, 2024, and 2025, I think 2024, I think I cried probably no, it was this year, beginning of this year. Right. December, January, February, March. My air mattress was full of so much water.
It ain't came yet this year.
2024 into 2025. So
It's 2026.
I understand that, but you understand where I'm coming from.
I'm just,
You know what I'm saying? The year of December, 2024 going into 2025.
okay.
Right. I got you.
I think the top part of my air mattress had so much water, and it's ridiculous. So But during that time period, I was knee deep in the depression. So I really didn't have. I mean, I had people I could talk to, but I don't think people knew exactly what I was going through. You know what I mean? So, what are y'all thoughts?
You got it.
Well, I didn't grow up with a father in my life, and everybody. I didn't have no good examples. I didn't have no good examples, so I didn't have nobody. I always cried. I always cried. I just didn't have no good examples growing up. Like, if I look up to you, then you doing this here to your wife, or you doing this here, guess what? It's gonna make me do that. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So I didn't have no structure to what I was growing up with. So I just had to pick and choose. It's kind of like I did it on my own, not on my own, but like I had to pick and choose. Okay, yeah, oh yeah. He taught right. He doing good. Oh, okay, he doing good. But the only bad thing was they probably was selling drugs and all that there. So, this is my forefathers I'm looking up to, and I would say crying made me good. I don't care what it made other people, but it made me good. Didn't nobody know what I was going through. Being homeless, sleeping in the car, and it's not because I didn't have nowhere to go, because the people who I wanted to go to denied me. So, yeah, you cried. When it rained, that was some of the best night. And I could never understand it.
Right.
But I understood.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I cry.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I think really for me, even coming up where I came from, man. I'm a soft natured man. So, I used to cry a lot. My siblings, they didn't really cry too much, man. And one thing I learned about people, men who really don't cry, and you have some women don't cry neither. They start to like empathy, and by not having empathy, it disqualify you from so much stuff. It disqualify you to understand people when they hurt, when they're going through it. Because you ever seen somebody to cry for somebody? You see what I'm saying? So by not crying, it disqualify you from so much stuff, man. Like if you go inside a department store right now and you see a mannequin, the mannequin have on a nice outfit, dressed up the whole nine. You can come inside that department store crying about your problems the whole 9 yards. That mannequin still just gonna be sitting there with the outfit on the whole nine. Not having empathy and not being able to cry, it's just like being a mannequin. And I think a lot of us, we try to enter relationships as being a mannequin because we don't know how to cry. And by knowing how to cry, that means that I don't know how to cry for you. And some people think that sympathy and empathy is the same thing, and it's not. I can sympathize with you for losing somebody, but I can't empathize with you, what you're going through. And I think, especially inside the black community, we feel that if we cry, it makes us less than a person. But by crying, it helps keep us qualified to be empathetic, to understand people, because you can't even make it in any kind of relationship without empathizing, without being able to cry. Man, I got some white friends, man. I remember one time I lost my job a long time ago, and a white buddy, man, I told him I lost my job, and I was like, yo, man, I got fired. And he was like, no, not your job. He's all, I'm like, bro, you cry more than me, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But with us from where we're from, we'll try to deflect crying and put it on something else. I told one of my homeboys I got fired. I said, yo, I got fired. He was like, man, you saw the Jaguar game last night? Like, no, I didn't see the Jaguar game. So we'll do anything we can to not try to empathize with what you're going through. And I think by us not being able to cry, it disqualified us to connect with people. Because what's the main reason why a marriage may not work or a relationship may not work? It's lack of communication. That's one of the main things. And a lot of times is that when you don't cry, it's hard for you to understand the person. it's hard for you to empathize with the people, So it's more so that you're hurting yourself, but you're hurting yourself amongst other people. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I seen by seeing people not being able to cry. What it does to them, it cuts off empathizing. It cuts off understanding people. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that was big for me, man. Because as being soft nature, if you tell me something that you're going through, I'm gonna try to plug in. You know what I'm saying? And instantly, I want to try to empathize with what you're going through. If you crying, I want to try to cry with you. How can I cry with you? But when you're not used to shedding tears, man, it's hard for people to really open up to you because they'll be afraid because they're looking at, man, I would tell him what I'm going through, but he's so tough, man. He's just gonna, he gonna make me feel less than a man, And so I think crying, believe it or not, man, crying is actually a tool. When you seriously look at it, you can't grow with the sun, you grow with rain. And sometimes tears can help you grow, and the reason why it's hard for a lot of us to grow, we never really cried. And so it's just a straight desert, You got a straight desert around us, you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't shedding no bit of tears. You ain't got no tears around you to help you grow. So crying is definitely can be a good tool.
Let's see. I think I kind of go based off of experiences, right? And one of the, and I don't think she'll mind me sharing it because it's over. My ex-wife had a situation where some things happened at her job, and she didn't want to go back there. Right. Now I understood, and I sympathized. Right, because she called me up. And she was crying. I'm talking about boohoo crying. Right. Lee, they did this, Lee, and I was like, okay. I didn't honestly tell the truth. I did not know what to do.
Right.
I didn't know how to
react.
Not react. I didn't know how to help her emotionally through that. All I knew how to do was to possibly fix it.
Facts.
And this is just me just being transparent.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I explained it to my therapist. I was like, listen, I didn't know what to do in that situation. She's bawling out. That's one thing I didn't have is a nurturing type of spirit to be able to be like, oh, well, when I get home, I'm going to give her a hug and talk to her, whatnot. I did not know what to do. So I was like, okay, well, we understood what happened. Let's keep moving forward and see what we're going to do after this. And I'm not sure if that was the right way to handle certain situations. I just I didn't know how to handle that and some other situations in the past, but I didn't know how to handle that specific one. And when you mentioned the plugging in and empathizing, right, it's like, okay, well, that time period I was kind of like not cold-hearted, but I was goal-driven.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, well, listen, okay, we understand that you had a setback.
Right.
Go ahead and get it out. Let's figure out what we're going to do next, and go ahead and move forward. During that time period, she didn't need that. She didn't need that at the moment. So I can understand what certain things that I've done caused the demise of my personal relationship, but it's all about learning what to do moving forward, right? So I take those certain situations, and now that I realize how empathy works, I can sympathize with you. Like for an example, I'll use Chip for an example. Like me and him are supposed to be going on this weight loss journey, right? And I sympathize with him because I know he had the stroke. He can't do all the things that I can do, right? You know what I'm saying? I sympathize with you, right? And then I also empathize with him because, like, even though you can't do what I do, we can still do things to get to that goal.
It makes sense.
You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of look at the whole situation. Now, whether or not he does that for me, I know he don't.
Man, y'all both look good too, man. I see y'all, man. See, boy, y'all trimming down too, boy. I'm telling you, boy.
No, that's all I do is I work and I do OMAD now. So I try to do one meal a day. Right now, I'm going through the water fast right now. So Well, it's crazy that I accidentally, you know, you make mistakes. I was in a meeting at work, and the young lady, she had salt and vinegar potato chips. I completely forgot I was on there. I was like, oh, let me get some of them. Put two of them in my hand and popped them in my mouth, was chewing. And another young lady said, ain't you supposed to be on the water fast? I said, yes, I am. I said, I completely forgot. I was like, so I messed around and drunk some black coffee to try to get it out my system as quickly as possible. My
And
taste
that
buds
salt
is
and pepper dry your mouth out.
dry you out. It was delicious though.
Yeah,
It was
man.
delicious.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you all feel currently society's expectations on men who cry?
They think, I think they soft. I think they can, we can take advantage. I think, no, you don't. You a man. You're not supposed to cry.
You think it's a time and a place for tears?
I would say no. I would say no, because you never know what going on. It can happen. It can just happen. It's like you lose somebody, and just all of a sudden, you just go to crying because you're thinking. So I would say no, but the sympathize and empathy, it comes. It is hand to hand. And once you know those things, you be like, oh, okay, I can understand that. I ain't gonna judge the situation, because a lot of people judge the situation and don't know what's going on.
Facts.
But see, but the world judge you. Period. Like when I was in the military, right? The one instance that, because I think when I get overly emotional and I can't really put my hands on you, my body just like starts liquefying, right? So there was a time where a hurricane was coming down to the base, and we got up out of there, me and another partner of mine, right? So when we come back, found out that it wasn't as bad as they said it was. Now we're considered AWOL. We are out. We AWOL. We haven't been back in like 3 days. So I called to the child. I was like, listen, where's everybody at? Why can't I get? No, we've been back to work for 2 days. Where y'all been at?
Right.
And I was like, oh man, we need to get back. So I'm like, I'm calling my partner, and he's not answering his phone. He's not doing anything. And I texted him. I was like, dog, we need to hurry up and get back. I was like, we AWOL. You're gonna have to catch this bus if you don't answer this phone call. And he never answered.
Yeah.
So yeah, on me, I take it. I take responsibility. I shouldn't have left him, but I did, and he felt some type of way about it. But I did. I was like, bro, you wasn't answering your phone, so I left.
Yeah.
And then even while I'm driving away, you never called me at all. I was like, yo, so you got to take some responsibility with that. But then when I got back to base, because I'm in front of my command, I teared up in front of them when I got back. And that's what I say is there's a time and a place for it. They saw it as weakness. But they knew not to pounce because I didn't care. You know what I mean? But
And I think too, especially inside the African American community, a lot of us as black males, we grew up based on how can I get the better response from the young ladies in my neighborhood. And where I came from, we got better response by being hard. You know what I'm saying? We got a way better response by being the dude. When you look at different TV shows that we grew up with, we looked at the Happy Days. It was Fonzarelli. He was the one that getting them. You know what I'm saying? When you look at 90210, you got Dylan and things like that there. So when we grew up, we looked at the tough guys was the ones that was really getting the most look at. You see what I'm saying? So it made it complicated to want to cry, because you felt that if I cried, that mean that she wouldn't respect me and things like that. So it made us have to end up dealing with holding something in to get what you want, you know. And when I came up, seeing that, you know, of course, I remember, man, this young lady before, this dude that went to school with me, and man, I'm weighing I'm wearing all kind of nice clothes. Man, I had clothes back in the days called cross colors. Had a nice full cross color outfit. Man, I'm looking good, dog. You know. And this dude that went to school with me, he just had on a white T-shirt, wife beater, and just some Dickies on, and the women was out after him. And so I was like, man, why y'all want him? You know what I'm saying? Well, y'all got me. I got the full cross color outfit on. And one of the young girls said, it's because he got a shot wound on his arm. And because he had a bullet wound on his arm, it made him look a certain kind of way to them. You know what I'm saying? And it was challenging when you really wanted to be a young black man, because we knew, versus with me, I knew the challenging part of it is it was hard to get a woman to respect me, so I had to make her fear me. I didn't want nobody to be scared of me. I want you to respect me. See, with him, he was gonna make you be afraid of him. I didn't want that. I just want you to respect me. So I felt when you put it together as why it's hard for a black man to really cry, you will have to bring up to a point that it's not really accepted, not even with other men, but other women as well, because we was looked at as being soft. If you look at the young men when they young, look at the dudes that they used to go after, the hard dudes. Ain't nobody really talk about no New Edition and all that there. They was soft. You know what I'm saying? I want some DMX. You know what I'm saying? So when you looking at that, that was a sign of peer pressure. And the peer pressure was to hold tears in. If you want a lady inside your life or whatever, hold tears in. But by doing that, it made it real complicated, because I'm trying to get respect out of you. I'm not trying to scare you. And I remember when my son was young and we went to counseling, and the counselor said something that made sense. She said, "How do you get your son to clean up?" I said, I don't understand your question. She said, "How do you get your son to clean up?" I said, "I tell him if he don't clean up, I'm going to unplug his game. I'm going to take his controller, put it inside my room." She said, "What happens?" I said, "He cleans up the room." She said, "Okay, so you going by the results?" I said, "Okay, yeah." She said, "But have you ever thought about getting him to clean his room up without taking his game?" You see, but we had to put fear. The fear part was to take his remote control, take his controller, the whole nine. So a lot of us, we grew up, even by our parents, to live in fear.
It's like that.
You see what I'm saying? So, so we grew up because I didn't know how to get my son to clean the room up without taking his game. I had no idea on what tools to use for his game to still be inside the room and to motivate him to still clean up. I was taught to threaten to take his game system from him and then he clean up. And the good part about it, the room was clean. The bad part of it is I did it with fear. I didn't do it with him respecting me as his father. I did it for him being scared of me, of what I'm gonna take. But guess what happens? That translates to him as he get older. He started wanting women like that. If you don't do this, I ain't gonna do this here. I ain't gonna cook. If you see what I'm saying? No, it ain't gotta be like that. But a lot of us was brought up so much in fear that it put us in a position that now I'm living more so in fear than living in respect. Because if we all can be honest, a lot of us live off fear. I do this when you do this. If this happen, that's fear. You know what I'm saying?
I know I did.
And so how can I get you to clean up without me taking the gangster from you? And that was the thing when you talk about with tears and all that stuff there, we live so much in fear that it made us have to keep tears in,
Yeah, and I think we always looked at that side, one side. We never tried to figure out, let's do it without doing this here, this here.
Bingo, exactly.
Because your parents, I know, for as my parents, no, sit down. Hey, come on, do this here. It was just, it wasn't so much what they were saying, but how they would look.
Right.
So, she mean business.
So this trend going around saying that you can't be. There's no such thing as soft parenting.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you see it where you tell a kid, "Listen, I need for you to sit down." Sit down, and the kid don't until you yell at them to sit down. You know, I understand that in life you do have choices and consequences. Your choices lead to your consequences, and sometimes you're giving them what their consequence is going to be up front. What Funny Bone was doing, using that fear consequence if you don't clean your room. So, what was the end result of that? Because I'd like to know. When I was raising Nana, all I knew was like, okay, you do this or you're going to get this, and if you don't do what I asked you to do, this is going to happen. All the way up to now, where I've been during my quiet time, it was like, and God said it to me too. It's like I was asking for the same things every day during every prayer service, during every time I'm praying, every time I'm in my devotion time, I'm asking God, listen, all of these things. And then one day, me and God talked. He was like, dog, shut the blank up. He's like, I heard you the first time. And then that made me realize, like, yeah, maybe I should stop and just sit back and just listen. Thank him for what I do have, and not worry about the things that I've lost, right? When I came out of the depression, funk, and everything like that, when I realized that everything that I was working so hard for and cared about is gone now. So what do I do now that makes me me? You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
that's what I had to kind of look into it. It's taken me some time. Do I really know? Yeah, I'm not Leroy the comedian. I'm not Leroy the podcaster. I'm not Leroy who go to work every day or whatnot. You just try to find out the things that make me enjoy life now that I have lost the things that I've cared about. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So now I'm in this space now where I am more emotional. I am more sensitive to certain things around me.
Right.
And I kind of keep that focus now on my daughter. Now when I started thinking about it, yeah, I did raise her with that fear and consequence.
That Prince.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
maybe because I felt like, okay, well, the person that I was with didn't want to have any more kids.
Right.
So I would have wanted like a son or whatnot. And I think I raised my daughter to be kind of like a little
Right,
boyish.
right.
She's hard. I give you that. And I raised her that way because it was like, listen, you need to be able to take care of yourself. But then now she's out there making her own decisions, and she doesn't take wisely counsel from me or her mother. And I think that stems from the way that I raised her up. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do anything else he tells me to do.
Absolutely.
And that's where the respect comes in at now.
Absolutely. And that's the thing there that actually got me, man. I remember this true story, man. I remember a while back, I was dating somebody, man, and I heard some noise outside, and I looked outside, and she threw bricks all inside my windows, bust all my windows out. And I'm looking outside like, man, it's crazy, right? But on the inside, I was like, that was sexy. It was sexy because of the simple fact I was used to, she cared enough about me to tell my stuff. You see what I'm saying? But I was brought up in a point to live in toxic stuff. I was brought up to live in fear. I was brought up to that means she cared about me because she tore my stuff up. You see what I'm saying? That means that she cares. So guess what? The next week, guess what? Me and her went to Disney World to celebrate. We had a great time. You know why? Because in my mind, I'm saying she cared about me. You know, but guess where everything started from? It started from at home. It started from at home that when mom had to take stuff from me or tear stuff up the whole nine to get my attention. You see what I'm saying? Because by her doing that, it got my attention. She didn't know how to get my attention to come in my living room and have a talk with me. I wasn't taught that way, and neither was her. She was taught to vandalize my vehicle to get my attention. And that's the thing, if you really look at it, and I tell people all the time, when you look at a forest fire, don't look at the fire, look at where it started from. That's how you do it. I remember when my house got burned down, man, and the fire marshal came in. He said, "What happened?" I said, "Man, I'm telling him everything that would happen, whatever." And he said, "I'll be back tomorrow." He came back, and he had to do an assessment on where it started from. where the fire started from. And that's the thing where we have to look at on a lot of things, man. Where did this behavior start from? Why was that so attractive for her to bust my car windows out? It didn't just start there. You see what I'm saying? Why do she have to say, I'm going to do this when you do this? You see what I'm saying? Why you still can't do it, even if I don't do it? You see what I'm saying? You know, but with us, we was taught so much in fear. I wasn't taught to still do what I say I'm going to do for you, even if you don't do what you're supposed to do for me. I was taught that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then I get to renege on you also. And that's the way we was taught. You know, we was taught to, you know, renege on one another. So that was it.
No, okay.
I think you got to reposition yourself and unthink a lot of stuff that you was taught because that don't work now. Like I told my son the other day, you can't raise my grandkids like I raised y'all. I just didn't know. But in my mind, I thought that was the best way, but it wasn't. So I was kind of impatient with y'all. I didn't have no patience, and I was demanding, and you be like, "Oh yeah, your kids turned out good," but they not gonna tell you everything
No, absolutely not.
because they fear you. They fear and respect you.
Absolutely. But if you seriously think about it, I remember my mom and my aunties, they used to say different things to show you. Like they'll say, he paid a cost to be the boss. That's fear. He paid a cost to be the boss. So by him paying the bills, he get to control the house. Well, I just can't control the house because I'm the man. Why, you know, how come I have to, you know what I'm saying, pay the bills and everything, and then that's when I become the man. Why I just can't become a man? Because I'm the man.
But I
you
think,
see what I'm saying?
I think
Yeah, you see? That's
gotta
all.
break stuff.
And when you think about it, it's one thing I learned about the enemy that really catch me with him is he'll say the small things and it'll just fly past us. You see what I'm saying? Small things just fly over our head. You know what I'm saying? Because he paid the cost to be the boss. Think about that. That's fear. That's fear because if he wasn't paying the bills, you see what I'm saying, then he can't have control of the house. Well, who said that? That's fear.
I think also to piggyback on that, that stems from the respect that our women put in demand. I think
right.
Chris
That's
Rock
right.
says it. I think Chris Rock said it was like only women and dogs are loved unconditionally, and we are loved based on what we can provide. And then you start really looking at that. You listen to society. And you hear women speak, and they be like, "Yeah, listen, if my man is not working, or he broke, I'm not. I'm leaving." It's like that. So, so at what point do we just like I guess opt out of that? It's like if you want to be with a
gotta
female,
break
you
it.
gotta be.
You got to break that.
And it has to go on both sides because, man, I seen something that was so disturbing, but it was true. It was this dude, man, I think it was Trick Daddy or somebody had a sign inside their house. And the sign said, "He who cares less wins." And that's letting you know that where we're from, if I don't give a darn about you, I get roses. But if I care a lot about you, I get crap. And it's almost like a reverse psychology type thing here. You know what I'm saying? That if I care a lot about you, I get ran over. But if I care nothing about you, I get everything. You know what I'm saying? But when you think about it, it's a point of fear is still inside that. You have some young black women grew up in fear. So now you got two fearful people growing up together, thinking it's respect, but it's all fear. Hey, did you cook? Now, I ain't cook because you ain't do this. What?
Toxic.
You see what I'm saying? You paid the bill. No, I ain't paying the mortgage because how you was acting. What? All that stuff is fear. You see what I'm saying? Because there should be nothing that you should do to me to make me not do what I said I'm going to do for you. You see what I'm saying? There should be a way that I can talk to you without holding up me paying the mortgage for ransom. You see what I'm saying? But the way we was brought up on fear, you see what I'm saying? It makes it hard to implant respect. It's true story, man. I remember, man, I went to a family barbecue And my cousin, I'm sitting down with him, and we sitting down, and he said, "Watch this." He said, "Hey, go fix me a plate." He told his old lady to fix him a plate. She went and fixed him a plate, right? Now I'm a cousin. He from the street, the whole nine, and she went and got him a plate, right? So I said, "Hey, okay, I got you." So I'm dating somebody. I say, "Hey, go fix me a plate." She said, "Get it yourself."
Yeah.
Right? And my cousin taught me something. He said, "She ain't scared of you." He said, "She know the deal." From the outside, it looks like he was a better man than me. No, it was just he put fear in her to do it. And sometimes we go so much off results instead of what is causing it. Some people is working off fear. You see what I'm saying? Like when I had my son to clean up the room, in my mind, the room was clean. And that's what the counselor is saying. You looking at the results. He cleaned the room up. He did. But how did you get him to clean the room up? Through fear. And when you trying to change the whole dynamic to say, I want to put everything through respect, that's a hard thing when you're dealing with people that was raised out of fear. You know what I'm saying? And it makes it so complicated for us because I want you to listen. I'm going to ask you to clean the room up, but here's the thing. Everything going to stay plugged up. The game, all that. You get, keep your controllers, all that. How can I get you to still do what I need for you to do and I'm not going to confiscate nothing from you? That's the hardest thing to do because now you're dealing with respect. And that's the thing there that makes it so hard on both sides, men and women, because we need fear to really get us to do what need to be done. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth.
That's what we just listen. Back in the days, first of all, just because you're old don't mean you're blessed. Let's get that out there.
Oh, you're right.
My grandma, and I'm quite sure other people, grandmas and everything, granddaddies used to sow their seeds somewhere else or whatever, but all they cared about, long as he bring the check home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just think how that like trickled down.
Yeah. That's right, bro.
Cause you got to check now. You got to check the loins of it's 4 generations. Check your daddy, daddy. You got to be like, okay, what you did?
Absolutely.
What you did? Cause it will come on you if you don't denounce that mess. That stuff will come back to you, and you be like, dog, why I be on women?
Yeah.
Why I'm doing this here? Why I'm doing? And then you be like, oh man. Your daddy did this, your granddaddy did this, your great-great-granddaddy did
You're
this.
speaking in reference to what, like generational curses, right?
Yeah.
So,
Sins of the father passed down. How many generations?
yeah.
And you don't even much know it. And you think it's, okay, yeah, that's cool. That
Yeah.
toxicness come from people think, like you said, yeah, you think that's sexy because that's all you know. And in your mind, you believe, man, that's right.
Yeah, and even saying that, bro, I remember, I helped my dad out before. My dad had a mortuary, and he had called me and told me to help him out on a Saturday to do a service. And so there was this guy that was a vice president somewhere, had passed away. And so I asked my dad whether he wanted me at. My dad said, well, we're going to have his service at Evergreen Cemetery. I said, okay, cool. So I'm going there. And once I get to the cemetery, it's about like 12 people there. In my mind, I'm like, man, I'm not really understanding because this man was a vice president of a company. So why is there so little people there? So like a couple months later, my daddy had called me and say, hey, Miss Florence, who have the storehouse around the corner from us, she passed away. I said, oh, man. I said, I got to work that with your daddy because I love her. I said, where you want to meet at? He said, we're going to be at Bethel. So I go to Bethel. It's about 5,000 people there, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, what's the difference between Miss Florence and the rich man? Well, the thing of it is, the rich man was here to impress people. Miss Florence was here to make an impact on people. And see, sometimes people don't realize making an impact is way much more rich than impressing somebody. But how we was brought up to impress. You see what I'm saying? Instead of make an impact. Because paying a cost to be the boss, that's just impressing you. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But making an impact in your life is me being here with you every single day, talking to you the whole nine. But what I was taught as coming from where we was coming from, rich mean financial. Mm-hmm. That's not the only word of rich. I can be rich with my time. I could be rich with my heart. I could be rich with my listening. I could be rich with, with my personality. And sometimes when you brought up in fear, you was brought up to only submit to the richness of wealth, of money. You know what I'm saying? Because that helps keep the fear at bay. But when you operate on respect, you understand that truthfully, Miss Florence, she was a rich one.
Yeah.
She was a rich one. That's why it was 5,000 people there. You see? But when you operate in fear, so many people were scared of the rich man. When he died, it was like, I ain't messing with him no more. You see what I'm saying? But when you make an impact, you operate so much in respect. And it always shows when your life is done. It shows.
I think that's probably right now, just listening, that's probably going to be the hardest part, is like trying to figure out exactly where to make that impact, to make that change, to stop with the toxicity. Because you're right, the foundation of anything that we got going on as far as being rich and wealthy all boils down to financial. Even if you're trying to get a woman, the first thing she asks you, what kind of job you do.
Bingo.
What is
Exactly.
it? So how do you respect, and then here's the thing, the flip coin of that is that if you are focusing on financial and the woman makes more money than you, then she has so much money, what she say she don't need a man.
Facts.
So I guess that's where it comes with weeding through, trying to find. Yeah, but I mean, it's a little more than understanding. You know what I mean?
You have to have an understanding, and then you got to see, okay, your dreams and goals that you wrote down. Like, what are your dreams and goals? Mm-hmm. That would determine, hey, nah, you ain't for me.
Yeah.
Steady thinking with, oh yeah, boy, this will come up. So it's different.
Yeah, but a lot of the females that, if you were going based off of going after a female, have that mindset of, okay, well, listen, I know that there's a young lady that I know, and she just asks, as long as you are financially
Oh, yeah, they said that.
together as far as yourself, are you able to take care of yourself? And then I saw a video where a guy was talking to this woman, and it made me laugh, because the first he was like, yeah, he said, before I ask how you doing, it's like, do you need anything? There's like, did your rent need to get paid? Does your JEA or your electric need to get paid? Matter of fact, are you in any kind of financial bind right now? And she was like, oh, no, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm okay. And I was like, he was like, okay, cool, well, how you doing? Would you like to go something like that, what you got going on? And then the first thing she says, like, well, I'm trying to figure out how to feed these kids. and it's like, well, golly, she's like, yep, there you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no
so
question.
I think men are coming to the point now where they're realizing, listen, we had a boundary of making sure that we did what we need to do financially to get ourselves stable enough to be able to talk to women. You know what I mean? So at what point do we be like, we opt out of that idea? It's like, it's not about my finances if you're not really trying to talk to me because of this here and these here attributes.
Yeah.
Self-love.
Yeah.
You got to have self-love to the fullest. That way, if somebody for you, like, if you got self-love, they can fall in love, but you already got love. So that means you can make a decision like, boom, okay, you know what I'm saying? So you won't have to deal with, oh yeah, I thought you said this is that, and then this is, nah. When you have self-love, you love yourself to the fullest. And I think singleness is the most important thing that you need to learn how to be. But that's just like, we wasn't taught that growing up. We were taught, oh yeah, get this girl, get this girl, get this girl. Mm-hmm. But we never was taught, you know what, say yourself. Yeah, say yourself. No two versions. Say yourself.
Well, I kind of think as far as growing up, we wasn't given the know-how to deal with your physical, especially as a teenager, because you get your hormones and stuff. And the first thing you're thinking about is like, I'm feeling this way. Well, I want to partake in that particular activity.
And I think, and I approach the thing too, when you seriously look at it, you know, in our culture, man, we was in our culture, we was almost like mutts. Like, man, you got green eyes, I want you. I don't care who you are. You could be an Arabic, I want you. We didn't really look at a lot of other things, a lot of different things. We looked at the way you look, how much money you made, let's ride out. You know what I'm saying? But I think, truthfully, man, when you get older, you don't really try to find somebody to understand your touchdowns. It's somebody to understand your fumbles. And that's the thing as a black culture where we hide so much. We'll look our best and all that stuff. That I worked here. No, what you got issues with? You see what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? And that's the thing there, that as a culture, man, that on both sides of the spectrum, on men and women, that we the men now got women having surgeries now and all that. Now they got to have a big, huge behind butt and all that stuff there, and the man, he got to have 6 jobs now and all that there. So now both sides is painting outside. You see what I'm saying? Instead of painting on the inside, but as you get older, real talk, man, I take peace of mind all day long. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you get older. When you're young, you don't care about peace. I don't care. But when you older, man, you really see it a whole lot different. But I just think a lot of it just comes from, again, on how we was raised when we were young. It came from that.
We definitely didn't understand God's law.
Nah, we understand.
We understood more our parent laws than
that and
the earth laws.
That, and it was if you didn't have both parents, it was more primitive. See, I think when growing up, my mom worked. Now, for a short period of time, from the time that I was born up to the time I was 5, my dad was in my life, but I don't remember that, right? And from 5 on up, I think he was in my life up until the time I joined the Corps, right? So that whole gap period is like, okay, well, my mom worked double shift. My grandmother kind of raised. My grandmother was like an overseer for the most part. I'm here just to make sure you don't get in no trouble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And if you do something, I'm gonna tell your mother, and your mother gonna handle it. You know what I mean? Right. So, and I guess that's the fear aspect. Don't do nothing. I'm gonna tell mama.
Absolutely.
So growing up, you don't really know how to deal with relationships. My mom said, if you want a woman, you need to learn how to cook. You need to make sure you have a job. I was like, okay, but what about the woman? Do they know? Because thinking about it now, as roles are reversed, you can have communication, right? Like, I didn't know how to deal with my ex-wife because I lacked the empathy. But me going through my depression, she obviously during her time period of growing up, she didn't know how to deal with a person that was going through the things that I was going through. So I can't fault her for that if she just didn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? What would she say? Just leave him alone. Let him be. Right. So I'm my love language is words of affirmation and physical touch, but yet my toxic trait is self-isolation.
Absolutely.
So it's like I'm just like getting out of the way. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
it's definitely a painful situation when you think about certain things like that. But I mean, it's good to have conversations like that to get out the toxic mind frame. You know what I mean? Because men, we don't have to opt into the toxicity of what a female says that you're supposed to have, or dealing with or what the world say you're supposed to be as far as your emotional state. But they say the suicide of men, the rate is so high to where it's like 65,000 a month.
That's a lot.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And already you have to think about it like this: it's more females on this planet than it is men, and then you have men taking themselves out at high rates. You know what I mean?
Wow. You got to understand women have more power than men. The reason why I say that, because it dates back in the Bible with Adam and Eve. Look how much power Eve say, oh, eat this fruit. Come on, Adam. Eat this fruit. Okay. Then that happened when she ate it, but when he ate it, domestic violence.
Man, no, I can say you're
think,
right.
yeah,
The-
always.
no, it's not that the woman has more power. The woman has the ability to sway a
Persuade,
man.
influence.
Right, but the man has the authority. Like if Eve ate the fruit and Adam did not partake of it, nothing would have happened.
Man,
Exactly, but what happened?
but I but yeah, man, I always a lot of times, man, when I talk to people, especially the minority, I still have to go back to the book I read with a man by the name of Willie Lynch when he mentioned that he had a problem to solve to make us as African Americans behave. And one of the ways he said it was going to last about 500 years. And he said the way we can get them to behave is to go against one another.
Turn the man against the
And
woman.
he said, as long as we keep doing that there, they will always look up to us. And he said that. He said that if we do that, we're gonna always win. And in life,
He taught that to the slaves, right?
No, to the
the
slave
slave
masters.
owners,
Yeah,
the slave
slave
masters.
Yeah.
And it's a book called Willie Lynch Letter. And presidents of the United States, they brought them in, they gave them awards and different things like that. But when we look at this man been gone for up 10 years in life, and we fight each other. And here's the thing: the black man will appraise a white woman. And then the black woman, she'll talk good about the white man.
I agree. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We're to a point that we're doing exactly what he said, to go against one another. And one thing I read, they said the only way that you can beat that is not say who's right or who's wrong, but it's to make it right. And that's the hardest thing for us to do, because we got to have a scorecard. I got to prove you wrong, and you got to try to prove me wrong, instead of us saying, let's just make it right. That's a hard thing to do right there, to say, you know what, let's just make it right. Let's make it right. That's so hard to do, because in our forefathers, it started with us going against one another, that we came in the game with a scorecard. You see what I'm saying? It ain't no you wrong, and it was hard for us to even much comprehend how can we just make it right. You see what I'm saying? And that's hard.
I think that's moving on to the next. That's a good segue into rewriting the definition of strength.
Come on.
Because I'm just going to use this as an example, right? Because I use a lot of examples. Given my certain circumstance and my certain situation, my strength would be to be like, whatever happened in the past, be the past, and let's make it right now. That would be me being strong in my decision making, strong and like maintaining and bringing my family back together and things like that. That would be possibly the logical thing, right? But then that strength also comes with not really negating the past, because the past has a lot of disrespect in it. So to rewrite that strength will be building yourself up, that self-love that Chip was talking about.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what has fallen. I think I'm not. It was. It might have been T.D. Jakes. No, I can't think of the brother's name, but he's been on social media a lot, and he wears a lot of black. And he said that you might have lost all of these things, but you might be forgetting all of the things that you still have left, those pieces that you still have, and you got to make sure you just at least hold on to those pieces, so that way you can at least have those to take care of and those things, so you don't lose everything. Right. You know what I mean? So I think the strength in reverting all of this is men really need to take back some form of power and learn to, I guess it's like if you conquer certain emotions within yourself, that strength then oozes out. Like a man who conquers lust, if he has a beautiful woman in front of them, won't be swayed
Absolutely.
by that. You know what I mean? A person who has conquered his emotions or his anger won't have those. Not saying that he won't have anger or that he won't have lust, but he won't act on it. You know what I mean? So it's that type of strength that a man has to build now. Because I just saw it was just I was listening to a podcast and it was saying only women now are going to the clubs. You know what I'm saying? So only women are going to the clubs, and the women who are bottle girls, they're no longer making no money because the women who go to the clubs don't have money. And the only reason why is because back in the day, women used to get in the clubs for free.
Right.
And then the men would go to the clubs to pay to get in, but then they would pay for drinks to conversate with the women in the club. But now men have taken their power and opted out of, like, listen, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to spend $20 to get into a club to meet a woman who really don't want me talking to her and want to use me for drinks and things like that. The idea and the strength is that, okay, you've taken your power back, and now look at society. Like they say women run the world, but men govern it. If you think about it, like if we're not doing the things that we're supposed to do, then they can't do what they supposed to do.
Not at all. Not at all, man. No question about that, man. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You
So as far as rewriting the definition of strength in the lives of men, what are your thoughts on that?
Rewriting it will be on showing a man the difference between fear and respect. Fear and respect look alike, just like love and lust. Look just alike, absolutely like it look just alike. Gold plated look just like gold, but gold can go through pressure. Love and lust look just alike, but love can go through pressure. The same thing with respect and fear. Fear can't handle pressure. You know what I'm saying? Respect can. And I think it's the fight of just rewriting it to show a man the level of the difference between respect and fear, and showing a man that you can get more out of a person off respect than you can putting fear in them. But it's going to take a lot of work, because a lot of us, if we was brought up in fear, it's kind of hard to kind of like, switch that around. So definitely going to take some work, but at the same time, it can be done. But truthfully, if you was brought up in any point of fear, it's going to be complicated for you to make it in anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me being honest with you. It's going to be hard for you to make it.
I would say men need to be men. They understand. Men need to understand they the foundation, not the head of the house. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm the head of the house." Foundation. Like a lot of men don't understand that. Y'all at the bottom, we at the bottom. We hold everything together. If it's a crack, it can't be a crack in the foundation. As they, like in the house, if it's a crack in the foundation, they going to condemn the house.
Right.
But if a window broke out, if the roof gone or whatever, they still going to have it. But if it's a crack in the foundation,
That's right.
they going to condemn it. And a lot of men, I don't think they understand that.
No, I think the analogy you used is a good one. It's exceptional when you say cracks in the foundation, because then we got to realize that as men, if you're going to label us the foundation, then every last one of us got cracks.
Absolutely.
Which means that there shouldn't be any man at this point trying to build anything on unsupported foundation. So I guess that what you're saying is that, listen, men who out there, don't worry about trying to build something up for a family or anything like that. First, fix the emotional state that you all are in. Deal with the cracks that's in your own personal life.
That's right.
Though once those cracks are healed up and once everything is sealed and your foundation is leveled and you get that foam to move the house up to even everything out, and then at one point you might not be ready to have a house put on there. Right now you might just need to let everything settle.
That's it.
I guess that's the single part that you speak of
Self-love.
before you start putting anything
Absolutely.
as far as PVC pipe and putting anything on top of it, because you got to realize that foundation is there for years, but that wood, the spackle, the people that are in the house, the furniture that's inside the house, what's on the roof. I got solar panels. That's extra weight on my foundation. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
So,
no question about that. No
well,
question.
well,
Because
fellas,
a storm gonna come. A storm gonna come.
Oh, definitely gonna go.
But it's how you build your foundation.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro.
So before we go, I know typically this been a very productive show. I like these shows here. But I want to make sure that we go around the room, go ahead and let people know how they can get in contact with you and things like that. And just realize before we do, I'm also going to go ahead and let them know right at the end what the next show is going to be, the date is going to be, which is going to be the 18th. And then we'll meet back up here. And then chances are we'll be rolling this in a part 2 because we didn't have Ernest here today.
Right.
And I would have loved to hear Ernest's point of view.
Facts.
So we'll have to run that through again.
good.
So go ahead, Funny Bone.
Man, you can catch me at funnyboneharris.net. That's funnyboneharris.net. Catch me right there.
All right, Chip.
You can catch me at bigchipcomedy.com. You can get everything you need on the website. And you will see some pictures, stuff I went through. So y'all check it out.
Awesome.
All right. And the Fabler.
Hey, everybody. If anybody out there is into mixed drinks, if you ever watch The Tipsy Bartender, you want to learn how to do that on your own, I have some tutorials on YouTube on how to make layered drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. So type this into your YouTube, DANNERIUM, then the word presents, and you'll see hundreds of videos on how to make layered drinks. That's it.
All right,
All
Daddy.
right. All right, y'all. I want to thank you all for tuning into the Anger Management Podcast. Make sure that you go to the personal page. In the future, Anger Management is going to have its own dedicated Facebook, Instagram, as well as YouTube pages. But as of right now, it's been pushed through the Last Leroy's page. All right, so y'all make sure that y'all go ahead and follow me or be prepared to follow the Anger Management Podcast directly. That's one. Two, our shows typically go every 2 weeks, and I try to have for 2026, I want to have at least 20 shows in the books. Right?
Don't say won't.
Say again?
Don't say won't. You will.
Say it again, Chip. Say it again.
You don't say won't. You will.
I'm confused. When did I?
You will have. You won't.
No, but what did I say?
We will have 20 shows.
You will have.
Right, but what did I say?
We don't want to have. We are going. We will
Okay,
have.
I'm confused. Listen,
It's not a plan.
right?
It's not a plan. We are going to have these shows.
Y'all
Because
mess.
won't is
No, but
like
no.
It's a
give me
desire.
what was the whole thing that I said?
We don't want to have 20 shows this year. We are
we
going
want to have 20
We don't plan
shows.
on it.
But didn't I say I want to have 20 shows?
Don't
That
use
night?
want.
Stop saying won't. Say will. Because that means we are going to have.
Yeah, so
Oh,
guarantee.
you saying
Want
okay?
is a
So no,
desire.
you saying won't? I'm thinking you saying WONT. Like
No,
no, you
no,
won't.
no,
No, you mean want, like W.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for that's what I mean. Because you saying won't.
You know what I was trying to say.
No, I was confused.
Get 'em,
Listen,
Chip,
we
get
will
'em.
have 20 shows
There
this
you
year
go.
of the Anger Management
Yeah,
Podcast.
my God.
Yo,
That's it.
and it's going to be every 2 weeks. The
Facts.
next show that's coming up right now for the 18th, we want you all to tune in, is going to be From Rage to Resolve,
Oh, man.
turning anger into action.
Oh, man.
How to channel frustration into purpose,
do that right
growth,
now.
and calmness.
Do that right now. Might well just stay here. Get that out of the way.
You know what I mean? So, listen, you all can find me under The Last Leroy, under all of your social media outlet platforms, under The Last Leroy. And remember, I just want to say this to anybody, any person, or anybody going through something like that. Make sure that you get some help. Therapy is meant to give you new ideas how to deal with your emotions, not to give you a hope or a good feeling on the inside. So go to somebody, speak to somebody that can give you a better idea, more new ideas to be able to handle your own personal emotions, so that way you're not going to be a statistic. I don't like to hear about men committing suicide or anything like that. I don't like to hear about women going through abusive situations like that. Make sure that you get the help that you need. And remember, if the person that you're with is good enough, make sure that you work it out by any means necessary. I never condone the situation that I'm in on anybody else. So I'm always an advocate for men and women working things out, because it's in for the long run. So that's my word of the day. Work it out. All right. Thank you all for tuning into the Anger Management Podcast, and we'll check you on the 18th.
Yes, sir.
All right, yes, sir. We out.